Content warning. Please note that the following episode contains detailed conversations about abortion and related topics, such as rape, throughout. If these subjects are triggering to you in any way, please consider carefully if you wish to continue listening. With that said, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Better Left Unsaid. I'll be asking you guys what your opinions are on abortion. Are you pro-life or pro-choice? So to start off the debate, I myself am pro-choice because I believe that every woman deserves a right to kind of do what they want with their body, and no person in power should have to define that choice for them, if you know what I mean. So yeah, what's your guys' opinions basically?
I am pro-choice. However, I do, because obviously I used to be religious, I do see where they come from and their point of view. However, I am very much pro-choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm also pro-choice. I think my biggest reason is because of rape and reasons like that, where you don't want, you don't want to have a baby at all. And also just because, it is your body. Why should you have to have a baby if it was an accident? But yeah, I think that's all.
I'd also say I'm pro-choice. I mean, at the end of the day, it's men that have made those laws, especially in countries like America where it's illegal to have abortions. It's men shouldn't have a choice on women's bodies. Or to be honest, it's not even just women who have wombs and stuff who can grow babies. There's also men as well. But as a general, it's women, isn't it? So people who the government, they shouldn't really have a choice on individuals' bodies.
Definitely.
So the next bit I want to talk about really is kind of, right now in the UK, what's available really in terms of abortion. So I know, so abortion's legal in the UK. We had the Abortion Act established in 1967 that basically says if the pregnant woman is at risk, if their life is at risk, they can have an abortion. If the child themselves might be born with a disability that will be harmful for their life. Really, it's just if anyone's at harm of life, then they can have an abortion. That's kind of what it says in our law. And then we've also got loads of different services available for people, such as places like the clinics like BPAS, so that's the British Pregnancy Advisory Service, and they offer loads of different abortion services. There's a counselling, and then there's obviously actual abortion itself. So there's the two different types of abortions that you can have as well, depending on how far along you are in your pregnancy. So I think it's just great that we have abortion legal in this country, because in a lot of countries it's still very difficult to get one, especially what's going on in America right now with the overturning of Roe versus Wade, which gives women the right to an abortion, a safe and legal abortion. That's been revoked, so every state gets to make their own laws. So there are certain states now which have made it illegal, which means women have to travel out of state or travel to potentially different countries to have abortions. So obviously America's a very forward-thinking country, and a lot of what happens over there kind of has a knock-on effect to the rest of the world. So it's just kind of that debate and that kind of thought process, could that happen here? First of all, are you pro-life or pro-choice?
I'm pro-choice.
I'm also pro-choice.
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 How much do you feel you know about the topic in general?
Not a lot. Not a lot at all.
I think I know a bit, but not enough. I don't think it's taught enough.
I would say I'm not an expert, but I definitely have some awareness around it.
I know a little bit of that. After a certain week, you are not supposed to do abortion.
Are you aware of how those wanting to get an abortion actually go and get one? So do you know what the process is?
I know you've got to go to a doctor and have 2 people sign it off. Not really. I understand it in theory, but obviously not how anyone really has gone and done it.
Well, I know that someone goes to a clinic and either they get some kind of injection or a pill.
Do you remember being taught anything about abortion at school?
No. So I went to a Church of England school, C of E, so it wasn't a big topic. They didn't really speak about it. It was kind of brushed under a rug.
Yeah, we were taught what the certain beliefs were, the split of the beliefs, pro-choice and pro-life, and what they were, what they stood for.
Talking around the uni then, so what was really interesting is that a lot of people don't know anything about abortion, yet they have very strong viewpoints.
Oh,
Which
really?
is like,
dumb.
it's like, how can you like have an opinion without facts to back your opinions, kind of thing. No, and again, like talking about if we were taught much about it at school, like I said, I mean, I don't know about you, I can't really remember us ever being taught at school about abortion. I feel if anything, like talking to people around uni again, they were just basically saying that if we were taught anything, we were taught very little.
Yeah.
Right.
And if we, again, these things would be more like, okay, this is what pro-life means, this is what pro-choice means, and this is why people think this way.
Okay, so my name is Juliet Wood. I am a senior lecturer in midwifery at Bournemouth University, and I'm the programme lead for midwifery. That's what I do. If a woman is looking for an abortion, the providers of that are meant to give counselling prior to it. Now that might be quite in depth, it might be very short. Women, it's very kind of different, the amount of counselling they get. And also it depends on their headspace at the time and what time they've got to make decisions as well. That's because sometimes the clock is ticking and they've got a very short time to decide. So that's hard. So ours is it's charity, and women will come and seek us out because they find out about us and, internet or whatever, or they're referred by GPs or midwives, health visitors. People will come sometimes very soon after they've had an abortion, sometimes years later, like 30 years later. You can't believe it. This is what I mean about echoing down the years. It can have a really, really strong impact in people's lives.
Yeah.
So the counselling, like we've just like looked at, then they receive it before, after, during, the entire process. And I find it really interesting again about the whole like people coming back after 30 years and just talking about it. I think it's like, just like she said, like echoing through the years, like just this like kind of, you've had the abortion and it's on the back of your mind, and you know it's going to stay with you forever.
Yeah.
I think for me, if I knew like, I've only got 5 weeks, so then, if there was a time limit, I can't then ever talk about it again, that would be quite like restricting in a way. So I'm glad you can go back
whenever and just
whenever. I think that makes it less scary.
Like you've always got somebody to talk to about it. Like even if you don't talk to any of your friends or family or anything, you've always got people that actually do care. She's like one of those people that's like, we genuinely care, like, because people go through a rough time. This is not I feel like people forget it's not an easy decision.
No, it's not just like, I'm gonna have an abortion. It's not,
because it's gonna be
there's
mentally
more to it.
it's gonna mentally draining. It's gonna affect you regardless if you think it's not gonna affect you or not. It will definitely. Because like you've essentially, you made like one of the biggest decisions of your life. Really.
Definitely.
So obviously none of us here have actually had an abortion.
Yeah.
So we don't know personally what it's like to have one, because we've talked all about kind of the physical, the emotional, the counselling that's available, the services, the types of abortions, everything like that. But what it's actually like to have an abortion and what it's like to go through, like we don't know what we would feel like in that position. So having a look now at some of the responses that I had from a survey that I sent out, this is kind of talking about people that have had an abortion, ask them general questions about it. And so we'll kind of go through a few of the responses. So the first question was, if you have had an abortion, does anyone else know about it, or have you kept this experience private? So everyone's kind of told somebody, which was,
Okay,
good.
But with like a select number of people, close friends, which you can probably, agree with. I think I'd be the same. Like I'd have to tell somebody. I don't think I could carry
definitely
that weight myself.
No.
So the next question I asked was, how did you feel when you first found out you were pregnant? So a lot of people have basically said that they felt very, very scared, upset, terrified. Someone was suicidal, like, a lot of negative. One person said they were excited, which was obviously a great thing. So then it kind of leads you to think, like, if they were so excited about being pregnant, what led them to the decision then to have an abortion?
Yeah, it must have been something with the pregnancy.
It must have been.
So the next question then after that I asked was, when you went to the abortion clinic for the first time, up until the point of having the abortion, did you at any point feel differently about your choice? So a majority of people have said no, that they always knew that this is like they were going to have it and that was it. But a couple of people said said yes. With my first abortion, my ex-husband wanted to keep the pregnancy and would constantly rub my tummy trying to talk to the baby, convince me to keep it. I did waver, but decided to do what was best for me, for my future life.
That's
which
so
I feel
manipulative though towards like the
very
partner.
manipulative.
And that is why he is an ex-husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.